Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
true.
It's just the
Yeah,
way it is. Well, hey, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out for the show today.
no problem. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here to just talk it out.
Yeah, just to get it all figured out. So on this journey of figuring it out, I want to begin with 4 years ago. All of this was turned on its ear with the pandemic. We were all figuring it out. How did you make it through the pandemic, and how did it change you?
Hmm. I made it through with a little bit of day drinking. Unfortunately, that was not helpful. It's funny because I was actually running a program within a school at that time. And I just remember this moment being on the Zoom with a lot of different boxes running a meeting. And I had three kids at the time, two in junior high and one who is in kindergarten. And I just remember being on one side running a meeting and on the other side, the three kids. And I was just like, and everybody needed me. And I thought, this is a lot. Like I'm running this whole meeting and I have these kids that need to be basically homeschooled. And it was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But like most moments when you have the time and you're overwhelmed, I just feel like there's always an opportunity for growth. And so it ended up being a transformative season for me in life because, we had just a lot going on in our family and the three kids at home. And I had been in education for pretty much all of my career. And I saw it as an opportunity to just pivot and do something different. So that was really that moment was like, I decided after we had a big decision that we were making within the school, we were getting a certification. And I thought, once I help this school get this certification, which hopefully will be by the end of this year, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
And part of that was really because of the shakeup of like everything is closed down. I'm at home with the kids and I really want to do something different. And this is the opportunity for me to do it.
You know, it was such a heavy time. I think the gravity of being alive right now almost feels like we went through a rapture. We're the ones that are still here. We all have a renewed idea of what we want to do with the rest of this time we have down here. Because when you hit that point between I'm 51, but when you hit that point of midlife, the sun's going down. It's not rising anymore, right? So so you better just figure out what you want to do and where you want to go and who you want to do it with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just feel like um something new opened up for me around the ability to take more risks and try something different and care a little bit less about whether it was 100% successful
Hmm.
and just sort of the measurement of success.
Yeah.
And so I think, when you work in education a long time, especially in kind of traditional settings where there's sort of this path laid out about this is what you need to do. You go to school, this is how it works. You need to get certain grades. It can kind of block creativity
Hmm.
in a way. And so for me, it was freeing to get out of this system that I spent a long time in as a student, and then a long time as a teacher, and then a long time as a school leader. It was like, oh, wow, there's a whole world out here of people that are doing different things, that think differently about life. So, really, coming out of the pandemic was sort of a whole new world for me, opening up new opportunities and ways of thinking about life and ways of thinking about success.
So I'm an IT guy in a school district here in Kansas City for a K-12 school district. My wife's a fifth grade teacher, so I understand. I understand how it works, and I understand what happened after COVID. So to get out and to feel the colors and everything that's going on in the world, yeah. Uh-huh. It's therapy in
Yeah,
itself.
it really, I mean, what I wanted is I wanted the schools to say, wait a minute, we have a chance. We don't have to do things the same way. We could offer a hybrid program for kids that really need that. We could totally reevaluate the way school systems work. But I think a lot of school systems are just too big to make a big pivot like that. And really, um, they just didn't want to do it. And so I just said, you know what? I think I've had a great run. I'm not mad. I love schools and I love the opportunities that I had within the schools, but it was a good chance for me to say, I'm ready to do something different.
So let's get to the essence of what you do on a daily basis. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day. And one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Ooh, third grader. I say, hmm, since you made it a third grader, I really need to make this interesting.
Yeah.
I help business owners know more about their money and how much they're making and what they're going to do with it. And I help them to make more.
So what did you want to be in the third grade?
Huh. I wanted to be an entertainer. I am one of those people that likes the spotlight and enjoys having a good time. And I love Whitney Houston when I was young. And so I used to take my grandma's wig and put it on and lip sync. I couldn't sing, but I can definitely entertain you. I
Yeah.
love humor. I love making jokes. So I was that kid that, like, if there's a problem going on, I'm going to try to come in and be entertaining so we can all turn our attention to the Paris show. It's going to be so funny. Hey, look at me. So I thought I would be an entertainer.
So how did these seeds of being in education and being an entrepreneur, how did that happen? Are you originally from Georgia?
No, I'm originally from California. I'm
Okay.
from the Bay Area. So I
Okay.
grew up in a small town, and the seeds of entrepreneurship started for me as a kid, because I didn't have everything I wanted. I was raised by a single mom. And so I wanted things. I wanted to have some new clothes and, go shopping and buy the things that I wanted. And so I think, like, starting probably at age 10, I had a paper out, um, before school. And then I found out you can get a paper out after school. And then I found out you could earn more if you sold memberships to that paper route. So I was a crazy kid figuring out how to earn money. I would put notes on people's doors that I would wash their car, that I would take care of their pets. So it started out really young.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then the business that I'm in right now really was my husband's business. He
Mhm.
started out doing financial consulting on the side. And then I came in and really took over his business. I think folks in finance are known for not being great communicators. I think folks in finance are known for being um, not as creative. And so when I saw that he was building something that had a lot of great potential, I thought this would be really great. I mean, as an educator and a school leader, there's certain gifts that I bring in communication and then connecting with humans that really added something to the business. And so he had been trying to pull me in, and I kept saying, no, you don't want to work with me. Like, we're married and let's just stay married.
Yeah.
And he kept on asking me, and actually one day my eyes got open, and part of it was through the pandemic, to like, this could really be a great partnership because we bring different things to the table, different skills, and those skills work together to, bring our business, make our business better.
So who's been an inspiration, a hero for you in your life?
Um, there's a lot of heroes. I mean, if I think on the business side, are a couple that they're not really a couple, they're a business partnership. John Rogers in Chicago is co-CEO with a really smart lady named Melody Hobson. And we look up to them because, one, they run an investment company called Ariel Investments, but there's something about the way they co-lead that I think is really empowering, in particular for us, because um, it's a co-leadership model with myself and my husband. And I think that a lot of folks are really into sort of independence in a way that's not helpful. And co-leadership is just so empowering because,
Yeah.
again, we're bringing different gifts together, different strengths together, but we're forging ahead with those gifts. And so, yeah, I would say John Rogers and Melody Hobson, as far as like people, I don't personally know them,
Yeah.
but we follow them and look up to them.
So that's a natural lead into my next question. If you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating or interesting, spend a little time with them, who would it be?
Hmm. Well, I guess, I mean, I can't use, can I use them? I mean, I really would love to meet them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
John Rogers and Melody Hobson are doing something that I feel like could definitely be replicated and could be utilized. I see a lot of people right now starting businesses. And folks are typically doing that on their own as solopreneurs, and that's definitely fine. But I'm reading this book right now, Who Not How, by something Hardy. I can't remember his last name. But the
Yeah.
book really talks about how in the educational system, we are trained to figure out how to do something. And really, our first question should be, who can help me to do this? Because the reality is, for example, if I wanted to start a podcast, which I don't, because that's a lot,
Yeah.
it would take me a lot to figure out which microphones to get, how to figure out how, the technical aspects of it
Mhm.
can slow the process down so much. And there's somebody who's uniquely gifted to do that thing that I could bring on. So the point is, the co-leadership model is sort of like the who, not how model. And I'm kind of obsessed with that right now
Yeah.
because trying to do things on your own is just really, really hard. And there's people that know how to do things way better and way faster than I do. And so I just believe in that model of like collaborative leadership.
So what is that passion, that fire for you every day to get up, to do your work, to help others, and to evolve as a human yourself?
It's the long-term vision for me. It's the vision of closing my eyes and imagining when I'm gone from this earth, am I creating and building something that's going to last beyond my lifetime? And so that's what gets me up really because I used to be much more of a short-term thinker, it's like thinking within the school year, for example. If I could just make it through this school year, I don't know what's coming next, but I just want to get to June, wrap it up, and then reevaluate. And there's certainly a place for short-term goals, but I think what makes me get up is really the vision of the long term, envisioning how our children will have a business that can live on, how all of the businesses that we work with will be generational businesses because we're helping business owners to be proactive and not reactive. And so when I think about that, it's encouraging because it's something that's going to last for the long haul, something that matters beyond just my lifetime.
So what's been one of your favorite client success stories so far?
One of our first clients that we started working with was a small consulting firm with probably two or three people when we started out. And it was sort of open ended consulting. We weren't really doing fractional CFO work at that time. We were doing more just what supports do you need with building out your budget and making a forecast and making sure your accountant is doing your financials properly. Well, over the years, this small company has grown to a place with almost 10 employees and they passed that million mark and they're getting to that point where it's going to be a generational company. They're building something that can either be sold when they're ready to sell it, or they've built something that they can pass on. And so to me, that's huge. My grandparents owned a barbecue shop in San Francisco. And I tell the story because it was such a great barbecue shop and it was well known in the neighborhood. And it was great for my grandparents and for their children. But when my grandparents couldn't keep going with that business, it just closed down. It wasn't passed on, it wasn't sold. And that happens with a lot of different businesses. So the success to us is when we are helping companies to build a foundation for something that is an asset that they can pass on. So that's really important to us. And when you worked with a company for a long time, for, more than a year, 2 years, 3 years, you really, really want them to succeed. Like
Yeah.
you feel like, I mean, yeah, we're fractional, so we're not full time, but the connection that you make with the business owner is such that you really want them to succeed and you have a level of ownership with that company that I think is important because you're not just coming in to close a transaction. You're coming in and bringing your A game because their success is our success.
So you have to dispense good advice to your clients. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Um, Slow down. I this might come from the seven habits, but it's like fast is slow. I'm one of those people that likes to get things done.
Yeah.
I like to go through my list and feel like I've gotten things done. But at the end of the day, if I could slow down, I think I'll have better discernment about my list. And at the end of the day, my priority as a human is to love God and love people. That's my priority.
Yeah.
That's my, and so if I am slam dunking my list, but it's not connected to my main priority, which is loving God and loving people, then I probably haven't had a win for that day. So slowing down helps me to actually get in touch with what it is that I'm doing as opposed to just I'm
Yeah.
slam dunking my list. I'm winning. Check, check, check. So that is my saving grace every day. If I'm pausing, looking at my list and being discerning about it and not just going full speed ahead.
Yeah, I get it. I'm in the same boat. I do that, and it is good to slow down. Totally. So let me ask you this. Of all of the things that you've done and accomplished in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Hmm. I am the proudest right now of my ability to change careers, only because it was such an identity connection for me. Anything that's linked to my identity, it's hard to let go. It's like I was Mrs. Williams, and there's a certain level of pride and joy that you have with being a school teacher and a school leader. You don't make a ton of money, but everybody knows you. You're pouring into the children, really into the community, into the other teachers. So for me to turn away from that and say, I'm going to do something different was a real test. And I'm proud that I did that because that is not really my identity. And this goes back to like the core of what I want to do in my life is love God and love people. And there's multiple ways for me to live that out. And I had so much attached what I do to who I am that it sort of became a crutch, right? And it's like I didn't really know it until I detached from it. And I thought, oh, who am I? Nobody knows me out here, and I had done some other entrepreneurial things and I was just out there feeling like, who am I if I am not Mrs. Williams, the teacher?
Yeah.
Well, it caused me to really ask some important identity questions. And I think it's just, if that's what it takes to break away from those things that like we're super attached to, I think it's just worth it.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, clients, all of your students, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am a connector. I am a people person. I am somebody who likes to meet needs and help others. I mean, that's who I am. Like I said, it's not about any particular job. So, right now in my business, I am helping other business owners get what they need so that they win. I am supporting my husband so that he can fill in the gaps within providing the service. And so I'm really a great supporter and communicator.
So if anyone wants to hire you, learn more about you, reach out, any of the good business, where do they go?
Nextlevelfinancial.co. And then my only social media is LinkedIn. So Paris Williams on LinkedIn. And I love LinkedIn. I'm on there all the time.
Okay, excellent. Paris, this has been delightful. Thank you so much for your story, your good energy. I appreciate it. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too. Take care.